Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Wisconsin.
It does not get any better than this. The weather is perfect. This team is playing nearly perfect baseball. Welcome to Miller Park, the finale of a four-game series. The Dodgers and the Brewers and Milwaukee going for a rare home stand sweep. And they're going to give the ball to Marco Estrada, making another spot start for Chris Narveson. But he's got a nice lead to work with in the National League Central. The Brewers continue to roll with a 7-game cushion right now over the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Brewers are capturing national attention as of late. They've won 19 of their last 21 ball games and hope to continue that role here today against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And how good are things right now for Milwaukee will look no further than what they're doing at home. This homestand has produced 6 consecutive wins. 3 against Pittsburgh, 3 so far against the Dodgers as they go for a rare homestand sweep. They've only done it one other time this year. And the starters doing their job. A sparkling ERA of just over 1. And now they give the ball to Marco Estrada. The second start of the homestand beat Pittsburgh on Saturday. 5 strong innings of shutout baseball. Gave up only 1 hit. We'll see what he can do this afternoon in Game 4. Little summer sizzle going on. This team brewing up something very special as we begin the stretch run of the regular season with an eye on the playoffs.
By Triple Hopped Brewed Miller Lite, taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park.
Well, it is a Thursday afternoon in Milwaukee, but it feels like opening day almost. They are going to pack it to the seams at Miller Park. Final game of the series, Marco Estrada coming off a terrific spot start his last time out. 5 shutout against the Pirates. He's back up, and he'll match up against one of the game's best. Clayton Kershaw making a run at a Cy Young Award. He has been the ace, the unquestioned ace of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us this afternoon. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. This ball club continues to impress. The Brewers have now won 19 of their last 21, and Rock, the superlatives are endless. But you could peel this in a lot of different ways. What stands out to you right now during this stretch?
No, there's a couple of different layers that you can look at with respect to the numbers. There's a lot of sexy numbers, the numbers that grab all the headlines. The record, the batting average, all the home runs, the way the starting rotation has been able to get at it, a 2.16 earned run average for the pitching staff, but it's the little things, the intangibles, the fundamentals that the Brewers have been doing a very good job of lately. You can see what they have been doing. Sacrifice bunts, sacrifice flies. These are the little things, the things that separates wins from losses in very tight games. The ERA continues to be good. Runners in scoring position have not been too bad, but everybody up and down the lineup, 1 through 9 in the lineup, and the guys on the bench contributing in all aspects of these numbers.
Let's throw some more numbers at you. How about 22 games over 500? How about 7 games up in the National League Central? And the Brewers trying to make it 7 in a row on this homestand. Can they make it a perfect homestand? Find out next. Final game of the series coming up next. And just a few miles from downtown Miller Park. Roof is wide open, blue skies up above, and we are set for baseball today. It's the final game of this 4-game series, the final game of this 7-game homestand, and the Brewers trying to make it a clean sweep of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Don Mattingly in his first year as Dodgers skipper. They're coming off a sweep of the Astros, and they've lost 3 straight here in Milwaukee. His Piggly Wiggly batting order: Tony Gwynn, Justin Sellers, Andre Ethier at the top, Matt Kemp, Juan Rivera, and Aaron Miles in the middle of Mattingly's order, and then Barajas, Carroll, and Kershaw rounding it out. And that lineup will face Marco Estrada, his second start in this wheel of the rotation. And Rock, the Farmers Insurance report card on Marco Estrada.
Well, he was very good his last time out, August 13th against the Pirates. 5 scoreless innings, allowed only 1 hit. It was over 3 months between starts for Marco. Last started on May 4th before that August start. Making his 6th start this year, 34th appearance overall for Marco.
He has done a nice job filling in for injured starting pitchers. He had Greinke to pick up earlier in the year, and now Chris Narveson. Here is the defense behind Marco today. Braun, Hairston, Hart in the outfield. You got McGee, Betancourt, Wilson, and Fielder around the horn, with Lucroy catching Marco Estrada, the Blaines Farm and Fleet Brewers defense. Quite a homestand for Jerry Hairston Jr. He has made starts at second base and center field. Hairston with a game winner yesterday. Got Josh Wilson in the starting lineup today as well. So the Brewers continue that revolving door at second base in the absence of all-star Ricky Weeks. And yet the Brewers continue to win without Ricky Weeks and Carlos Gomez. An impressive run here for the Milwaukee Brewers. On this homestand, there have been 3 one-run victories, 2 walk-offs, and all 5 runs, or rather only allowed 5 runs in the 6 games so far. That is incredible statistical breakdown of what's happened here on this homestand.
And the Brewers starting pitching and bullpen have had to do that because the offense has not been in high gear, certainly, and that's where you miss Ricky Weeks, I think.
Home plate umpire today is Mike McClinsky. He'll call the balls and strikes. It's Mike Winters, Mike Everett, and Mike Guccione on the base paths. No, just kidding. Just Chris Guccione. There are 3 mics on this umpiring crew. 0-2 the count quickly on Tony Gwynn Jr., who homered yesterday as the Dodgers avoided a shutout. But a 3-1 Milwaukee win behind Zach Greinke, who is now 12-4 on the year, and he won his 9th consecutive game at Miller Park. He's 9-0.
And he's got his overall earned run average under 4. It has taken a lot of good baseball, good pitching by Greinke to get that ERA at to where it is right now.
Greinke's ERA dropped under 4. It is now at 3.92, picking up his 12th win. John Axford saved it for him. 36 saves for Axford, the National League leader, tied with Craig Kimbrell in that category. And also Axford saving his 33rd consecutive game in last night's ball game.
Yep, struck out the side, did Axman.
Gwynn swings and misses, and that's how the day begins. It's how it ended last night. And Estrada with a strikeout to get this afternoon's ball game underway.
Yeah, John Axford blew him away with a 3-2 fastball last night. A curveball from Marco getting Gwynn to start the game. Actually a changeup by Marco Estrada. Yep, fastball, changeup, slider type slurvy curveball from Marco. 3 basic pitches.
Now Marco is the ultimate underdog today. A spot starter for the Brewers, matching up against a Cy Young Award candidate in Clayton Kershaw. And that has been a pretty comfortable spot for Ron Roenicke this year. He has gotten the most out of his roster. Brewers are headed on a road trip beginning tomorrow. They head to New York, start a series with the Mets tomorrow night at Citi Field. They'll play 7 games in 6 days on this road trip. There is a doubleheader next Monday in Pittsburgh. That one's in the air. Lucroy wants it, and Lucroy catches it for out number 2. Justin Sellers retired.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter who Ron Roenicke puts in his starting lineup. You know, the normal starters, the bench players really chiming in. Craig Counts with a big walk yesterday. Jerry Hairston and Josh Wilson's been playing some pretty good defense. When you have guys that you can go to on your bench, it makes your manager look pretty smart.
Now Roenicke's done a nice job making sure everybody gets their time, the bench players especially. And I think when it's all said and done, you never want to lose an all-star caliber player like Ricky Weeks. But at the end of the day, if this team is headed to the postseason, and right now they have a 7-game lead in the division,
if they carry that forward, I think this stretch of games is going to play big for Ron Renicky and these bench players, especially the guys who play the infield like Hairston and Wilson, Felipe Lopez.
Keep them sharp. You never know when you're going to need them for an extended period, like now with Ricky on the disabled list. Ricky coming along pretty nicely. Still a ways away, but they certainly miss Ricky offensively. He's been a big part of the offense this year.
2-0 to Andre Ethier, who takes ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes on the Dodger 3-hole hitter. Brewers have been able to keep him relatively quiet in this series. He did have a hit and a walk yesterday. And at one point he was 0 for 12 at the plate before he snapped it. And for the second straight day he swings away 3-0. Fouls that one away. Yesterday he swung away 3-0 and almost hit one out. Took a great play by Nigel Morgan, leaping up against the wall to retire Ethier.
Yeah, you give your big boys the green light 3-0 when your team's struggling to score runs, and Don Mattingly looking for somebody, anybody, to get something going.
A little changeup that just missed, and Ethier draws the walk. I think Ethier even thought it was a strike.
Everybody but Mike McClinsky. 3-1 changeup. That's the bread and butter for Marco Estrada. And he's got that working for him. Ordinarily, he's going to have a good day.
Estrada grew up a Dodger fan. He grew up in the shadows of Dodger Stadium. Facing Matt Kemp with 2 gone in the first inning. Kemp putting together MVP type numbers. He's hitting .319. 28 homers, 89 runs batted in, and is in the top 6 in the league in just about every major offensive category. Dodgers are a strange group. This is a ball club that has all of this turmoil off the field in their ownership situation, and a ball club on the field that is 12 games under 500, and yet they have a legitimate Cy Young Award candidate and a legitimate MVP candidate.
Yeah. They've had some pretty good individual performances, but as a group, it's been a struggle from the get-go.
Well, Kemp starts the day 6th in the league in hitting. He is 3rd in the league in home runs and 2nd in the league in runs batted in, the Triple Crown categories. Estrada has him down 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes on Kemp. These are the rankings for Matt Kemp. It's not just the home runs, batting average, and RBIs. See the slugging percentage in the top 3. He's in the top 10 in runs scored. His best year individually of his career.
Yeah, good combination for Matt Kemp of speed and power. He's got over 30 stolen bases. So he's the complete package this year, is Matt Kemp. Unfortunately for the Dodgers, the guys around him have not been able to do much.
Now, Kemp is one of the few Dodgers that have actually faced Marco Estrada. Kemp's only faced him once, 0 for 1 against him. And a swing and a miss. Estrada with a strikeout and a great start to the afternoon. Scoreless first inning with a couple of Ks. against Clayton Kershaw. And the Piggly Wiggly batting order for manager Ron Renicky. Corey Hart will lead off once again. Jerry Hairston Jr. batting second. Ryan Braun in the 3-hole. Middle of the order is Prince fielder Casey McGee and Uni Betancourt, with Lucroy, Wilson, and Estrada rounding it out.
Now Clayton Kershaw making his 26th start of the year. He's already got 4 complete games, and you can see the numbers. They just jump out on the page. He's leading the National League in strikeouts. Only Verlander with the Tigers have more. He's got 204. Kershaw with 193. He's just about up there in every category in pitching that you can find in the National League. He's a good one.
14-game winner Kershaw with those 4 complete games. And the Brewers will have their work cut out for him today. Kershaw continues to impress, only getting better as the years go by, and still such a young pitcher at 23 years of age. He's already set a new career high in victories. Won 13 for the Dodgers last year. He was 13-10, an ERA of 2.91. His career earned run average is 3.05. And this is his 4th year in the big leagues, and a swing and a miss.
And he's got 4 pitches that are very good. He's got one of the best opponent batting averages, second in the National League at 212. Already in his 4th year with the Dodgers at 23 years old.
Out of Dallas, Texas. And a swing and a miss. Made quick work of Corey Hart. A strikeout for Kershaw to get his day started. Defensively, the Dodgers have Glenn Kemp and Ethier in the outfield. Miles over at third today with Justin Sellers and Jamie Carroll up the middle. Juan Rivera starts at first with Rod Barajas doing the catching.
Yep, low to mid 90s fastball, and then he will do this to you. Pull the string on him. He's got a changeup he's not afraid to use. He'll throw a slider. He's got all 4 pitches and not afraid to use any of them.
Jerry Hairston Jr. in the 2-hole today for Ron Renicky. Hit 7th yesterday, and he delivered a big hit. Hairston in the 6th inning in a scoreless game drove in 2 runs on a 2-out, 2-strike, 2 RBI single that put the Brewers on the board, and that would be all they'd need as he rips out one foul. A big spot in the ballgame last night. Ron Renicky sticking with Hairston, and he delivers.
On a 2-2 pitch, he was able to spoil a couple of tough pitches. He fouled them off and then got one that he can handle. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 strikes, and Hairston comes through making good contact up the middle.
And Hairston, that gets down the line under the glove of Miles, and it gets down in the corner, goes by Gwynn, and Hairston on his way to third. Now he'll stop and scurries back, and only the speed of Tony Gwynn keeping Hairston off third base. It is a 1-out double as Hairston stays hot.
Yeah, it looked like a slider that Kershaw left up in the zone, and as we've been talking about with respect to Hairston, he's a good contact type hitter, doesn't strike out much. There's that slider that stayed right in the middle part of the plate and just out of the reach of Miles at third. The Brewers with a man in scoring position early.
Jerry Hairston Jr. safe at second, safe and secure. New York Life. So it's a 1-out double, and here is Ryan Braun now. Braun's having a huge homestand, 10 hits, 20 at-bats, a couple of home runs on the homestand, and comes in with a batting average of .329 overall. Braun has had pretty good success against Clayton Kershaw. In 11 career at bats, he has 4 hits. Overall, Braun with 23 homers, 78 driven in. Jose Reyes still leads the league in batting at .336. Reyes on the disabled list for the New York Mets. Braun is second. And the career numbers against Kershaw.
Well, and as with most very good pitchers, you've got to get him early before he settles in. The Brewers have had a fair amount of success against Kershaw. This is his 5th start. He's 1-2 against the Brewers with a .623 earned run average, but Brewers got to him big time last year. An inning and a third at Dodger Stadium, gave up 7 earned runs.
Kershaw coming off a win against the Astros his last time out. He went 8 innings. Braun takes a healthy cut. 2-1 to count on Ryan.
And 95. I mean, he can get it up there. Goes pretty much straight over the top. Not much movement on the fastball, but he gets it up there pretty quickly.
And what he lacks in movement on the fastball, he gives you in movement with his body. He's as herky-jerky as it gets. Brewers have him in a spot early. Runner at second with 1 away. And the big sluggers coming up, Braun and Fielder. Braun down the right field line, slicing foul in the seats. Two and 2 on Braun. Well, this crowd still pouring into the stadium. This is going to be a large crowd today at Miller Park, and perhaps one of the largest of the year on a Thursday afternoon. Parking lots jam-packed, a lot of tailgating going on. Getting into the final couple of weeks of summer before school begins here in Wisconsin. And the folks are taking advantage of it, ready to send their Brewers off on a good note. It's been a 6-0 homestand so far with 1 to play. Sellout yesterday, 42,800 at the ballpark. That was the 23rd sellout of the year. As the push to 3 million continues, and you figure, Rock, as we start to move into September now and this pennant race becomes clearer and clearer, things are going to get very exciting here, as if they're not already.
Yeah, starting to get a lot of national attention. The news media pouring in here at Miller Park before the game. Good to see. Brewers had 45,000 plus here already in this homestand. Yep. Standing room only.
That was a Sunday crowd, the second largest crowd of the year. That was the Sunday game against the Pirates, that 2-1 win. Nyjer Morgan's walk-off sacrifice fly, one of the 2 walk-off moments at the ballpark on this homestand. Full count to Braun. And he hits that one in the air. Over his Ethier in fair territory, and he'll make the play. So Kershaw retires Braun for the second out.
He got him on a high fastball at 95 miles an hour. He got to lay off that high heater, but that's what he lives with. He doesn't really have too much of a problem with home runs. He's only allowed 13. That's not bad. Of course, he pitches in Dodger Stadium half of his starts. A good pitcher's park.
Well, speaking of home runs, the Powerball home run leaderboard for the Brewers coming into play today with Fielder at 27. Albert Pujols is the league leader in home runs with 30. Prince 27 homers, 89 RBIs. He trails Ryan Howard in the RBI category. Howard with 95 ribbies. Got a runner at second with 2 outs. 95-mile-an-hour fastball in there for strike 1.
Kind of comes set and it starts to slide step. He kind of comes out, he kind of drifts toward home plate, but is able to stay back with the arm and get on top. A lot of guys will drop that arm and lose a lot of velocity and location. Not Kershaw.
All-star matchup here. Clayton Kershaw making the National League All-Star team for the first time in his career against the All-Star Game MVP Prince Fielder. Oh, and 2 the count on Prince with Hairston at second base. And he got him. Kershaw strikes out Fielder, inning over. Brewers strand a runner at second. We head to the second inning. Dodgers coming up. No score. Brewers won a division. It was in the American League East at the time, and that was a pennant-winning year for the Milwaukee Brewers in 1982, and perhaps we have another one in front of us this year. A lot of baseball to be played, but certainly an encouraging start yet again from Zach Greinke. Greinke last night, Rock, went 7 strong, just 1 earned run. He struck out 8 against the Dodgers last night.
Man, just continues to be able to mix all 4 of his pitches very well. I mean, that slider, a devastating pitch, and that's what he gets most of his strikeouts with. A very good athlete, able to save a run. Picking that ground ball with 2 outs. Greinke's been outstanding here at Miller Park, 9-0 this year.
Set a franchise record to start a career in a Brewers uniform with that 9-0 start here at home. The Brewers got great pitching, timely hitting. It's interesting that Milwaukee not scoring that many runs, but they don't need that many runs with the kind of pitching that we've seen during this homestand. Greinke with 4 August wins already. Brewers and the Dodgers with the 2 lowest earned run averages in the month of August. Both in the low 2s. Juan Rivera. 2-1 count. Rivera leads off this 2nd inning.
Yeah, the Dodgers against the Brewers this year in 5 games have a 2.14 earned run average and have only won 1 game.
How about that?
Isn't that something?
Yeah, they split in Los Angeles, that 2-game series in LA. Brewers have won all 3 here so far, with 1 to play today. Don Mattingly, first-year skipper of the Dodgers, a former MVP, searching for some offense with this club. 2-2 on Rivera. Count goes full. Well, last time Estrada was on the mound against the Pirates, went 5 scoreless innings, and at the time he said he felt great and actually campaigned to continue on in that game. But then the next day he said, "I'm glad they took me out." He was extremely sore after that start. He hadn't pitched 5 innings in a long time, and since his start in May, and he said, I'm really happy they didn't listen to me.
Yeah, and sometimes manager, pitching coach has to protect the player from himself, but it was over 3.5 months between starts for Marco. What does he expect, right?
Well, the last time he had gone that long in a game, he went 5 1/3 on May 4th. So as they say, he was not stretched out. Rivera pops it up. This is Josh Wilson who makes the catch for out number 1. Well, Estrada was great. He was on national television, and a big start for Marco Estrada. Had the roof closed that day, Saturday afternoon. Marco was on his game, and that was a 1-0 Milwaukee win that afternoon.
Well, the thing that amazed you most about that start was his command. I mean, he did not walk a batter. He had 5 strikeouts and only allowed 1 base hit. But having not pitched all that much, we talked about over 3 months between starts, but Marco has not been needed out of the bullpen all that often. Was able to stay sharp and throw a lot of strikes.
Needed only 64 pitches to get through 5 innings. But as Rick Kranitz was talking about, it's not just the number of pitches that was starting to become a concern. It was the fact that he went 5 innings. He was sitting down, getting back up, and obviously a lot of adrenaline flowing in front of a sellout crowd that day.
You just don't want to push it. I mean, you get 5 scoreless innings out of Marco in that start. You get him out of there. You have a well-rested bullpen and let them finish it up.
And he earned his first win as a starter since the 6th of April when he beat the Atlanta Braves. Miles, a little chopper. Wilson's got to hurry. He's got a good arm, and he makes a play in time to get Miles.
Hey, fans, on select dates, kids 14 and under and seniors 60 and over are eligible for savings of up to 50% on tickets. For details, call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com.
plenty of fun. Even if you want to settle into the game a little bit. Have the monitors up, you can follow the game. And now that's not something that would have happened when I was growing up. My dad, there was no chance we were going to go anywhere else but sit in the seats that he paid for.
Well, there wasn't any place like, the kids zone at Miller Park back in those days.
That's a good point. Good point. It's the far reaches of the Astrodome, I guess. Fun for everyone here at Miller Park. That's what's so encouraging about the way the Brewers are playing. And Rocky mentioned some of the national spotlight that has come this way. And national television over the weekend. The Brewers will be back on national television Saturday in New York. And I asked Ron Renicky about how his club will handle the spotlight, the extra media attention, and feels very confident in where this team is with the veteran mix of players and the fact that guys like Fielder, Braun, Hart, the core guys, they've been through a postseason run before.
I think this team is very well focused. I mean, they're keeping their head down amongst themselves and grinding it out, and able to do the little things that it takes to win games.
That one is hit well and way back over the fence. Rod Barajas with a home run to give the Dodgers the first lead today. Barajas with home run number 11 on the year. And it's 1-0 Los Angeles.
Now Marco has to try and stay away from 2-0, 3-1 counts. And first pitch fastballs down the middle. And when he's able to get ahead early, that's when he's most effective, like every pitcher. But a pitch like that is normally not going to end very well for Marco. Right down the middle, about mid-thigh high, and Barajas with pretty good power, able to knock it out of here.
It's only the second time in the series the Dodgers have had any kind of lead. They got a second inning run on Tuesday. The Brewers quickly answered with a run in the bottom of the second to tie it. Dodgers have now scored 3 runs in the 4 games of the series. Feels like a soccer match is broken out here in this series with the Dodgers.
The whole homestand, actually. There hasn't been many runs scored at all by any of the teams that have been here. The Pirates, the Dodgers, the Brewers not scoring a lot of runs. 3-0 lead seems like a blowout these days.
How about the scoring the last 5? The Brewers are 5-0, and Milwaukee's averaging 2.2 runs a game, while the opponent 0.6 runs per game. Not something you thought you'd ever see at the hitter-friendly Miller Park in the summer.
When you look at it, you had some pretty good pitching staffs coming in to face the Brewers. I mean, the Pirate pitching staff, particularly their starting rotation, has been very good. They had a stretch of about 2 weeks where they scuffled a bit, but those young starters have been good. Runs tough to come by, and the Dodgers always have good pitching staffs.
Full count to Jamie Carroll with 2 away. And that one's in the air to center. Jerry Hairston settles under it. Inning over. Dodgers are on the board. Rod Barajas with a home run. Brewers coming up. We go to the bottom of the second at Miller Park. And this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the Brew Crew on national television against the New York Mets. This week's telecast of Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 3 p.m. Central, only on Fox. A familiar voice will be calling that game, our buddy Matt Vasgersian. Looking forward to seeing Matt tomorrow. He's been following the Brew Crew. I think he's working with Eric Karros Saturday.
We saw Matty in St. Louis.
Brewers will be back on Fox Sports Wisconsin on Sunday for the final game of that series. Casey McGee, a little bouncer over to short. And Sellers makes a play for the first out. Now the Brewers and the Mets coming up in a 3-game series, and here are the probable starting pitchers. Sean Markham, who has been great on the road this year, he'll pitch against Mike Pelfrey, the Mets opening day starter. You had Randy Wolf against Chris Capuano, the former Brewer. And then it's Gallardo and the knuckleballer, R.A. Dickey.
Capuano threw a pretty good game against the Brewers here at Miller Park earlier this year. Cappy able to stay healthy. Almost 140 innings this year.
Betancourt with one away. I saw Capuano a couple of weeks ago. I was in New York doing a game, and we talked about the Brewers. He was excited to see the Brewers playing well. He said, "I'm really happy for the fans of Milwaukee that they get to watch a winner this year." Capuano is still effusive in his praise of the organization for bringing him back last year. He had the second Tommy John surgery. Capuano did all of his long rehab at the Brewers facility there in Phoenix. And then, of course, he returned to the major leagues with Milwaukee last season.
Yeah, the Brewers were good to Chris. And stuck with him through all that, and got him back to the major leagues and helped him continue his career.
Capuano had the crystal ball going because he looked at what the Brewers did in the offseason with the starting pitching. And he figured the Brewers were pretty well set with their starters. So he decided to go to the Mets, where he knew he'd have a chance to be in the rotation. Probably where he needs to be, coming back from a second surgery. More of a routine type guy. So we'll get to see Capuano over the weekend. Betancourt down the line, foul, hit it hard, but pulls it in the seats.
A lot of off-speed pitches to Uni. Back-to-back sliders, and able to hook it, hit it hard, but hook it into the seats. It's a tough pitch to keep fair. It really is. That slider down and in.
Two and two from Kershaw. Got in on his hands. See Uni with the new look today. He's got the pant legs up to the knees. Trying to break a slump at the plate. He is hitless in his last 11 at bats, according to Mike Vassallo's game notes. Anything it takes. Tough to break from a slump facing Clayton Kershaw. And that one just missed.
Man, where'd that miss? That was a slider. It was a hanger and fooled Betancourt. And he takes it. And boy, I tell you, this is a pretty good pitch.
That is a tight strike zone this afternoon. Mike McClinsky. Betancourt gets sawed off, and here is Sellers. 2 up, 2 down. A couple of ground outs to the shortstop.
Yeah, thing I like about Kershaw, he's not afraid to come inside. A steady diet of sliders to Betancourt, but he's able to get him out on a fastball in. They jammed him, got in on his hands. And why wouldn't you when you throw mid-90s?
Kershaw was the Dodgers opening day starter, and when you hear about Clayton Kershaw, some of the great Dodger pitchers come to mind. They use a lot of comparisons. Sandy Koufax, for example. Kershaw, the first and the youngest opening day starter since Fernando Valenzuela in 1983. Kershaw took that reign at the age of 23. Those are names you don't just drop on any young pitcher. It's a lot to stand up to, but Kershaw so far has been able to pitch to those expectations.
Yeah, but he's lived up to it. Doesn't seem like much bothers him. The Texan, the pitcher of the month in the month of July, 4-1 with a 2.02 earned run average, and he's won 6 of his last 7 starts.
Jonathan Lucroy, and he's down on the count, a ball and 2 strikes. How about Lucroy this year against Los Angeles? Done some of his best work against the Dodgers. There's a home run against Los Angeles that came earlier on this homestand. A pinch hit home run for Lucroy on Monday. Lucroy hitting .289, 9 homers, 50 runs batted in.
Man, it's been a good year for Jonathan, no doubt. I mean, really feeling comfortable up at the plate, and has done very well in the bottom half of the batting order, whether he's hitting 7th or 8th. Dale Swaim says as he gets going, I think he could be a 20 home run guy, and why not?
Lucroy's having a big homestand. 7 for 17 at the plate with that home run, 2 runs batted in. Two and 2 to the Brewer catcher. Fights it off. Lucroy was always known as an offensive catcher in the minor leagues. His defense has been impressive. That's what has taken him to the next level, and he was rushed to the big leagues last year. Greg Zahn went out with a shoulder injury, and they pushed Lucroy, who had started the year in Double-A. Looks like the defense is caught up and now starting to swing the bat. Down he goes. Kershaw strikes him out. 97-mile-an-hour fastball on the black. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat. Now, in a ballpark and with a franchise that has been known for its offense, it has been the pitching staff that is bringing up the headlines lately. This homestand, the starting pitchers have won all 6 games and a 1.04 earned run average.
It's been amazing, just feeding off what they've been doing pretty much all season long. One of the best starting rotations in the National League. When you look at the numbers, only the Phillies have a better statistics starting rotation, but 6-0, a 1.04 ERA, and the opponent batting average negligible. These guys have been terrific.
Over 7 innings per start on average. And that huge strikeout to walk ratio, 41 Ks, 12 walks during the stretch. Estrada hoping to fit right in. You don't figure Estrada to go too deep in this game. He went 5 his last time out. And I think if Ron Renicky and Rick Kranitz could get 5 out of him today, they'd be happy with that. Clayton Kershaw leads off. Pretty good hitting pitcher. Kershaw has 13 hits this season and 54 at bats. He's hit for a .241 average. And he has 4 runs batted in. Big, strong left-handed hitter.
You know, and even if they don't get 5 innings out of Marco, they got 3 pitchers down in that bullpen that haven't pitched at all. I mean, hardly at all. They got De La Cruz, Dillard, and Cameron Lowe. He's been in that bullpen for a while without an appearance. Speaking well of that starting rotation once again.
Yeah, when your middle and long relievers aren't getting much work, you know things are going pretty well.
Yeah.
Full count to Kershaw. He swings and misses. Estrada got him to chase one.
Well, Kershaw not a bad hitter. I mean, he's hitting .241. And Marco making him look bad on that pitch.
Estrada now with 3 strikeouts. Had 2 in the first inning. Back to the top of the order, Tony Gwynn Jr. Gwynn seems to have found a home in Los Angeles. He's done a nice job for the Dodgers this year, hitting for a .261 average. Has a career high in stolen bases this season. 19 steals. He homered yesterday. His first home run ever at Miller Park. And his first home run of the year.
And his first home run in a year and a half. so he doesn't hit many.
No, that was his 6th career home run yesterday. But it was a no-doubter, wasn't it? He got a hold of a Greinke pitch in the middle of the zone, a fastball, and sent it deep to right over the fence.
Yeah, right down the line. That's where guys like Tony Gwynn have to hit him, right down the lines.
Oh, 2 to Gwynn. Bouncing ball, a chopper. McGee goes up the ladder. And a low throw, and fielder off the bag. So Gwynn will reach.
Well, little nonchalant by Case McGee. He had plenty of time, and just an easy flip over to first, a little bit off the mark. Something the Brewers have not done much of, committing errors. You can't be committing many errors when you're not giving up many runs. So what should have been an out ends up being an E5. Looks like Prince is on the bag. Not sure what that call's all about.
Yeah, that looked like a missed call from Mike Winters, the crew chief.
I mean, clearly on the bag, and I'm not sure what he was looking at, but Tony Gwynn at first. You figure he's going to try and steal second base.
Error number 17 on the year for McGee. Well, the Brewers have been clicking along. Their errors have not cost them much through this stretch of 19 wins out of 21. But infield defense is still a concern for this Milwaukee Brewers club. Let's take another look at this play at first. Different angle this time.
A little sidearm flip off the mark, but Prince fielder, does he have his foot on the corner of the bag or not? Maybe not. You can see the way he goes after it with his toes. So my apologies to Mike Winters. It was closer than it looked.
Maybe fielder never got the foot there. Runner goes, and a hit and run on. Sellers fouls it back.
Another Dodger base runner doesn't look in and see where the baseball is. Tony Gwynn in a head-first dive on the foul ball straight back. We saw Matt Kemp do that in the first game of the series, and actually was why the Brewers were able to turn that triple play.
Kemp was deked by Wilson, which kept him at second base. And then the next hitter, James Loney, bounced into that 4-6-3-2 triple play. Justin Sellers, Huntington Beach native, grew up a Dodger fan. Deke Gordon is the shortstop of the future for Los Angeles. Injured his shoulder, so that gave Sellers an opportunity, and he's made the most of it.
Yeah, he can pick it. I'm not sure about his bat. We haven't seen much of him from his bat, but he can play some shortstop. Good hands. He's got a very quick, strong arm.
Well, he made 2 plays yesterday. As good as you can do it. Starting double plays, one on Fielder with 2 on, and then the other making a diving catch on a line drive to start a double play with Ryan Braun at the plate. And the base is loaded. Close play at first. Glenn is back.
Tony Gwynn figuring he might be getting a breaking ball or changeup count, and he's thinking about running on this 1-2 pitch.
It's only been caught 3 times this year. 19 steals for Gwynn. Stays put, and that one is hit way back left field. Is it going to stay fair? That ball hooks, and it is foul.
Yeah, not by much. About as far as Sellers probably can hit one. They say he squared one up against the Houston Astros. Hit a home run, and that one just barely hooking foul down the left field line. 1-2 count, and Marco tried to throw a curveball, hung it, and just foul, not by much.
We just had a post-game instructional on that with our umpire, our resident umpire, Bruce Fremming, talking about how umpires take a look at that baseball, whether it goes behind the pole or not. I thought it was interesting. Bruce said you got to make sure you get stopped before that ball comes to the crossing point.
Well, you got to stop when you're ready to make the play or make the call. You run out there, then you stop when you have to make sure that nothing's moving.
There goes Gwynn, and a line drive base hit by Sellers. Gwynn on his way to third base. The throw comes in late, and it's first and third for the Dodgers with 1 out.
Another pitch down the middle up in the strike zone, and Sellers able to center on this one and bang it into left with Gwynn on the move. The Dodgers trying to be aggressive, staying out of the double play. That fastball, you can't get too much of the play with a fastball from Marco, and Sellers able to take advantage of the mistake.
And with Gwynn on the move, easily to third. And Marco Estrada has his work cut out for him here. First and third, 1 out with Andre Ethier coming up. Ethier walked his last time up against Estrada.
Try and get that change up down and away, and hopefully Ethier tries to pull it. You get your ground ball. A lot of room in that hole between first and second.
Bouncing ball. Fielder in fair territory, steps on first, the throw to the plate in time. What a double play that was.
That was a good move by Prince. If he goes to second base, that run would have scored. Even if Sellers would have been out once he stepped on the bag at first.
Took the force away. He comes home. Prince be nimble. Getting over.
of anticipating what you're going to do with the baseball before it happens, and Prince doing the right thing. Now, once he tags the bag, the force out is over at second base. If he goes to second and Sellers gets in a rundown, that run scores. So Prince decides to go to home, and he gets the double play. A good job by Lucroy to block off home plate. Good heads-up play by Prince fielder.
Well, Tony Gwynn, fortunate he was not injured on that head-first slide at the plate, trying to go to the back of the plate. Lucroy hung right in there, and the Brewers get through the third inning with Ethier at the plate. They've turned some beautiful double plays in this series to go along with a triple play as well. That was Josh Wilson who started that triple play on Monday night. And today getting another start at second base. His first since Monday. Wilson at 254. Does have a couple of home runs as a Brewer. He's not known as a home run hitter, but had a couple of early home runs for Milwaukee. And that one is ripped into left field, a base hit. So Josh Wilson with the second Brewers hit. Hairston and Wilson with the hits today against Kershaw.
Hey fans, you can enjoy great baseball at a tasty price when you purchase Terrace Reserve seats on Mondays for just $6. That's courtesy of Miller High Life. Call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com.
Sellout crowd at Miller Park, and we'll see if the Brewers can bring them to their feet. Marco Estrada, the Brewer pitcher, at the plate. So important for your 8th place hitter to get on. That can always set up an inning in the National League lineup because it allows the pitcher the chance to drop a bunt down. And normally the starting pitchers in a National League club or on a National League club are the best bunters on the team, just because they do it so often. Estrada has not been in that wheel very often, although he does have 3 hits this year. He's 3 for 10.
And does not have a sacrifice bunt, only his 11th at bat this year.
Gets down a good one. Kershaw will make the play for the out. Nicely done. I can't imagine Kershaw is an easy guy to bunt against. But Estrada does a nice job to advance Josh Wilson.
Easier to bunt against him than it is to hit against him, I bet.
That's right.
Yeah, we talked about it on our open today, how the Brewers have been doing the little things very well, dropping down bunts, scoring runs with outs, and sacrifice flies. Even Marco Estrada, only his 11th at bat, able to dead net baseball well in front of home plate.
And for a manager who loves the bunt, that brings a smile to his face. Wilson out at second, top of the order. And a couple of chances to drive him in. Brewers had a runner at second base in the first inning after the Hairston double. Kershaw retired Braun and Fielder to end the first. Two balls, no strikes on Corey Hart. Not your prototypical leadoff hitter, but Hart has thrived in that role since taking over that spot for Ricky Weeks. It's not that Weeks was struggling in that role. Ron Renicky was trying to find some offense in the 5-hole in the batting order, so he'd move Weeks down and put Hart in that spot, and Corey has taken off as a leadoff hitter.
Yeah, it certainly would be nice to get Ricky Weeks back in that number 5 hole, though. He has been missed in that batting order.
Hart's hitting .273 from the leadoff spot with 7 home runs and a broken bat base hit. Can Wilson score? They won't try it. With Tony Gwynn, who has an accurate arm, as you see. Corey Hart breaks his bat, but singles to left, and the Brewers have something cooking here in the third inning.
That fastball up and in, and Corey able to get enough of it just over the head of Sellers, and Josh Wilson had to make sure that ball was going to go over the shortstop's head before he took off. Well, the bat dies happy. A fastball in. Corey able to get enough of it, and Wilson has to stay put at third. Eddie Cedar with the stop sign.
First and third, 2 hits in the inning against Kershaw. And it'll be Jerry Hairston Jr. Hairston, a good contact hitter. He doubled off Kershaw in the first. He pulled one down the line just past the outstretched Aaron Miles at third base. Hairston now 2 for 6 lifetime against Kershaw. But he has struck out 3 times in his 6 at-bats against Kershaw, which is a testament to the stuff of Clayton Kershaw, with a guy who does not strike out very often.
And particularly good in these situations, just putting the bat on the baseball. These are the guys most dangerous. When a base hit, maybe a fly ball scores a run.
Ball and a strike on Hairston. Well, Ron Renicky has used the squeeze bunt a great deal this year. The suicide squeeze and the safety squeeze. So that option is always there. Miles playing deep at third. I think if nothing else, Renicky used the squeeze so much early in the season, it just planted that seed with the opposition. So that thought seems to be always there, that the squeeze bunt could be on at any time, and that
affects the mentality of the defense. The pitcher is always wondering if he's going to have to charge and make a play on a bunt. You just put the defense in an uncomfortable position when you know a team is willing to do it.
Got Braun coming up next. Hairston making his 4th consecutive start in the series. Certainly earned his playing time. Hairston has hits in the first 3 games, including that 2 RBI single yesterday. And you figure he's going to get most of the playing time at second base when a right-handed starting pitcher is on the mound. And he is part of a center field platoon with Nyjer Morgan, with a left-handed starter on the mound. Morgan does not typically start against left-handed starters. Hairston missed the squeeze. And this is going to turn into a 5-4-3 double play. Goodness.
My goodness.
The squeeze was on, and Hairston swings away. The inning is over. And the Brewers have missed a couple of squeeze bunts here over the last 3 days. misses the sign. And Jerry Hairston swinging away. Watch Wilson at third base. He's on his way to the plate. Turns into a 5-4-3 double play.
Now second consecutive squeeze that has not been executed. Somebody missing signs the last 2 times.
You could read Jerry Hairston's lips there. He said, "Why was he running?" It's a work in progress. Well, he hit it hard, but it turns into a double play to end the inning. The Brewers come up empty against Kershaw in the third. Now Estrada facing Matt Kemp. Kemp a strikeout victim in the first inning. And that one is hit high in the air, left field. That's hooking foul. Matt Kemp, one of those guys who doesn't need to hit it on the barrel to hit it out. That was off the end of the bat. Still hits it up into the Lowe's level. Cut and a miss.
Now you elevate after he gets out in front of a breaking ball. You elevate the fastball. That's where you got to pitch a guy like Matt Kemp. Big, tall, power hitter, up and in, but you better make sure you get it in there. He left that breaking ball right down the inner half of the plate. Kept able to hook it foul. Not one way to pitch this guy. Like most good hitters, you got to mix it up, keep them off balance, get ahead, make them swing out of the strike zone.
Well, there aren't many power swings that are tailor-made for Dodger Stadium, but Kemp has one of them. You think about a guy like Jim Thome, guys who have power to the opposite field. Kemp can hit him as far to center and right center as he can to left, which is why his home run numbers can stay at the level they are, playing half of his games at Dodger Stadium. That's when you know he's right at the plate, when he's driving the ball into the right center field gap. And a swing and a miss. He took a shot at an opposite field stroke, but Estrada strikes him out as we send it down to Telly Hughes.
Well, BA, let's take a look at our Dodge Ram game reset. Only 1 run so far, and that was scored in the top of the second off Rod Barajas' bat. That was his 11th home run of the season, and so far through 3 innings, Clayton Kershaw with 3 strikeouts and getting out of a tight jam in the bottom of the third.
Dodgers have had 2 leads so far in the series. They have led for exactly 2 innings. Actually 3 now, but the Dodgers had the lead 2 days ago. Brewers quickly tied it. There's not been much going on offensively with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And credit goes to the Brewer pitching staff.
Yeah, hasn't been much going on offensively for either team for that matter, and that would figure, coming in, these are the 2 top pitching staffs, lately in the National League. And Don Mattingly just trying to figure out a way, trying to come up with a lineup that's going to score enough to win some games with this very good starting rotation.
That one's hit hard by Rivera, and that'll hook just foul. Boy, Rivera, an off balance swing, had enough carry to hit it out of here, but he just got out ahead of it.
There've been a few of those for Marco already today. We're only in the 4th inning.
Well, Sellers had one, Matt Kemp, and now Rivera.
And a little bit out in front of the off-speed pitch, and it's tough to keep those fair when you're out in front of them. Ball's always going to hook.
Rivera starting at first base today. Did not start yesterday. It's his third start of this series. Twice at first, once in left field. Did make an appearance as a pinch hitter last night. And he struck out looking. He didn't swing the bat once in the 9th inning. That was part of Axford's scoreless 9th. Axford struck out the side in the 9th for his 36th save of the year. Two balls, two strikes on Rivera. And he goes down the right field line. That's fair, and that's trouble. It's going to go to the wall. Rivera on his way to second base, and it's a 1-out double for the Dodger first baseman. Well, our Carsoup.com email the booth question from Josh. And his question is, what have you been more impressed by this homestand, pitching or defense?
I've been more impressed with the pitching for sure. I mean, the defense has been pretty good. I mean, when you talk about defense, you're talking about, plays at the plate, the triple play, the 4 double plays one game, but the starting rotation and the bullpen, these guys have been terrific. No question. And you?
Kind of works hand in hand. I would say the pitching, which has been off the charts good, but the Brewers had the pieces in place to make a run like this. The defense has been a concern for Milwaukee all year, the infield defense especially. And so I've actually been more surprised by the defense because of the plays they've made, the unusual game on Monday with the 4 double plays and the triple play, and all of them were unorthodox.
Right.
Saved a lot of runs, but they work hand in hand, the pitching and the defense. You get well pitched games, good crisp games. That's when you tend to see some of the best defensive plays.
Yeah, guys throwing a lot of strikes. You don't have your infielders on their heels. Pitchers are getting the baseball, getting it back early. Not taking a lot of time between pitches. Infield and outfielders, for that matter, love that. Every time a pitch is thrown, there's a chance it might be put in play. That's when you see your best defense.
Well, Estrada falling behind Aaron Miles. Got a runner at second. Rivera's 1-out double. And there's a strike to Miles. 2-1. Well, let's face it, all facets of the game have been in place. And while the Brewers aren't scoring a lot of runs, they are getting a lot of timely hits and having a lot of fun in the bullpen.
Yeah, just enough runs. Let's put it that way. I mean, barely enough runs.
It's a changeup from Estrada. 3 balls and a strike. Kershaw with 3 scoreless. The Brewers have threatened twice, had a runner at second and 1 out in the first, and first and third with 1 out last inning. He's been able to get out of both jams. As Miles draws a walk. So again, the Dodgers with 2 on. How about some of the defense in this series? The triple play started by Wilson. 4-6-3-2 triple play on Monday night. Jerry Hairston Jr. that night. A diving catch started a double play. One of the 4 double plays in that game. Fielder had a nice double play started for 3-6-1. And then Prince, a diving stop to begin the ball game with Gallardo. Nigel Morgan yesterday in the first inning, pulling one back off the wall.
Now, there's no way you can win, 1-run games, low-scoring games without very good defense, and the Brewers certainly have the athletes to be able to pull off plays like that. And it's just a matter of, being consistent on the routine plays, and sometimes the Brewers let their guard down a bit, as they try to get into the postseason, and if in fact they are able to get to the playoffs, then they're going to have to shore up that defense. You can't give extra outs in postseason.
Broken bat, a bouncer, got a chance to turn two, a flip to Wilson to throw to first, and it's in time. Right on cue. A nifty play at the Keystone as Betancourt to Wilson makes the turn for two on the slow-moving Barajas.
Time to check in with the crew in the community. Brewers Community Foundation has featured the 50-50 raffle for the second season. As of today, our awesome Brewers fans have purchased more than 1 million in tickets during 2011. 50% of the net proceeds support nonprofit organizations that provide quality programming in the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. The other 50% goes home with a lucky fan during each of the 81 home games. Congratulations to the 50-50 sellers and Brewers fans as we partner to positively impact the lives of children and their families in the greater Milwaukee area. B.A.?
All right, thanks, Telly. It's a great cause. That's been a terrific program, the 50-50 raffle. See Renicky talking it over with Jerry Hairston. No doubt talking about that missed squeeze opportunity. Well, the Brewers with 2 on, 1 out. They come up empty in the third inning. Now Braun leads off the fourth. You wonder what was going through the mind of Josh Wilson as he was sprinting toward home plate. And Jerry Hairston hitting a line drive on a hop right to third.
Yeah.
That had to be a little scary.
Yeah, your life flashes right in front of you.
Yeah.
And especially when he pulls it right down the line like that.
What's Wilson about 50 feet from home plate when that ball leaves the bat?
Yeah.
That first and third squeeze is one of Renicky's favorite plays. He loves that bunt that not only, if you do it right, gets a run in, but it also puts a runner into scoring position on a play that's tough to defend for the opposition. You don't know where to go. And it also keeps you out of that double play. What he was trying to avoid is exactly what happened. A 5-4-3 double play to win the inning.
And a lot of times when you see a play like that, you'll see the both runners take off. Guy at third, guy at first, but Corey wasn't running on the pitch.
Braun gets jammed, and an easy play for Jamie Carroll for out number 1. Kershaw has been in on the hands of these Brewer hitters.
Clayton Kershaw, one of the best in the business, and he is tough on left-handed batters. Got ahead with a fastball, then consecutive sliders, able to get Prince. I mean, very well located breaking pitches, and Prince going down on strikes.
These are the kind of matchups you look forward to. You got an MVP candidate in Prince Fielder, a Cy Young Award candidate in Clayton Kershaw.
They'd like to be able to say he's tough on left-handers only, but he's tough on everybody with an opponent batting average that he has coming in at 212. Not just lefties.
Only Johnny Cueto of the Reds with a lower opponent batting average. Kershaw is 3rd in the league in complete games. He has 2 shutouts this year. Leads the league in strikeouts. Now with 196. 2nd opponent's batting average. He'll likely go to 2nd in the league in innings pitched. Matter of fact, he is tied right now, so another out and he goes to 2nd in the league in innings pitched with 1 more out today. 6th in ERA, 3rd in wins.
And leads the National League in strikeouts. I haven't seen the big strikeout totals for Kershaw. He's got 3 of them.
And that, on average, Kershaw more than a strikeout per innings pitch this year. Full count to Fielder. Just got a piece. Took a pretty good cut at that curveball from Kershaw.
And it was a hanger, and Prince knew it. You could see the expression on his face saying he got away with that one. I'd like to see that one again. And pitch up right down the middle of the plate, and Prince fouls it off.
Fielder hits that one high in the air to left, carrying pretty well, but Gwynn has room. And out number 2.
Yeah, good at bat by Prince. He was hanging right in there, wasn't giving an inch in that outside corner. Kershaw just continues to pound the strike zone. Got ahead of him with a fastball in the corner. And that fastball in has been a very good pitch for him all day long, not just to Prince, but to the right-handers as well. Prince battling as best he can, taking some pitches out of the strike zone, finally getting one after this one to hit pretty good into left field. He got the fastball. He missed with it, did Kershaw, but Prince not able to get enough of it.
2 up, 2 down. Here is McGee. Casey bounced out his first time up. 1-0 Dodgers on a Rod Barajas home run. And McGee goes down the line. Another one hooked foul. Fans over there in foul territory getting a lot of activity today. Catching a few rays and catching a few foul balls, or at least dropping a few foul balls. McGee into left, a base hit. Another hit for Milwaukee. It's the 4th hit of the game, and a 2-out base runner for Uni B. Our AT&T trivia, who are the 5 Brewers managers to have played for the Dodgers. You know, Ron Renicki's one of them. A couple of them are here in the ballpark. For many years, the Dodger way, as it was known, a tight-knit family under the O'Malley ownership, and it carried down even to the minor leagues, to the lowest level in the minor leagues.
They all did the same thing, same way, all through the minor leagues, same signs. Always called the Dodgers down in the minor leagues.
Betancourt in the shallow right. Coming in is Ethier, and he makes a catch for the out. Inning over. The Brewers get a hit. They strand a runner, and it's 1-0 Dodgers as we go to the 5th.
the board here today at Miller Park, and that brings us to today's Tavern of the Game winner. The intermission in Wausau, if the Tavern Contact calls the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game in April and May of next year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Sellout crowd today at Miller Park, the only afternoon game on the Major League Baseball schedule. Brewers Dodgers, final game of this 4-game series. Milwaukee has won the first 3 on this current set. They split with Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium earlier this year. And Milwaukee a chance to go 7-0, a perfect 7-0 on the homestand. After an 8-1 homestand, the last homestand. And the Brewers' home record continues to be a story. 47 wins, only 15 losses. That is the best record in all of baseball. Marco Estrada back out for the 5th. He's done a nice job. He's only given up the 1 run. And a couple of double play balls that have gone in his favor. Prince Fielder started a nice double play in the 3rd inning to end the inning, and then a beautiful 6-4-3 double play to end the 4th. It's one of the advantages of having Josh Wilson at second base. Ricky Weeks brings this as well, but that strong arm, a shortstop's arm at second base.
You can still get off a good throw even when you're flat-footed. Sometimes with the Brewers shifts that they incorporate, it takes a while to get over to second base for that second baseman, and a lot of times you throw flat-footed, but Wilson, just like Ricky, certainly has enough arm to be able to get it over there with something on it.
Which is what he did to get Barajas on the back end of the double play to end last inning. Pretty light schedule in the National League. Only 5 games scheduled today, but a lot of the contenders are playing. Diamondbacks and the Phillies later tonight. That's Ian Kennedy, a 15-game winner this year. Vance Worley, who was 8-1 for the Phillies. Well, Kennedy's making a run at a Cy Young Award. The ERA is a lot higher than many of the contenders, but you can't argue with 15 wins.
Right.
15-3 is Kennedy.
Well, what's more important, right?
You know, I thought that, and then last year Felix Hernandez won the Cy Young Award in the American League. That surprised me. I thought CC Sabathia was going to win that award.
Yeah.
Hernandez had tremendous numbers, no question. ERA, strikeouts, they were all there.
No, it is a team game. A team doesn't get anything for leading their league in earned run average. It's all about wins and losses, right?
Estrada on a comebacker makes a play for out number 1. Carroll is retired. Get all your high school football action with Fox Sports Prep Zone. Log on to foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the Prep Zone tab to watch up to 4 high school football games all at one time, Rock. Live each week. Log on Friday at 7 p.m. to watch this week's featured games. So tomorrow at 7 you get La Crosse Logan at Eau Claire Memorial, Milton and DeForest, Homestead at Hartford, Kimberly at Oshkosh West. Your choice.
It's hard to believe it's football season already. Days are getting shorter. You notice how early it is, getting dark now?
Yeah. I haven't noticed because it's been a nice little pennant race going, but here in the Midwest we're always waiting for that cold snap. Weather's ideal right now. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, we went from winter to summer. Hopefully don't go from summer to winter.
Yeah, a couple of weeks of summer and back at it.
Nothing like the fall in Wisconsin.
All you need to make it feel like football season is a marching band. Just to hear that marching band, and that makes you.
We had that last night here at the park.
Felt like a football game. The Salvation Army marching band here. Kershaw, a little soft liner out to short. 2 outs in the inning. Well, it's going to be a fun month or two of sports here in Wisconsin. You've got high school football cranking up, college football, the NFL, the world champion Packers, and the Brewers in a pennant race. And it's okay to think big. I had a fan ask me yesterday in the concourse, walking through after the game, saying, can I even think about a Super Bowl and a World Series in the same calendar year? I said, sure you can.
Why not? Get greedy.
Yeah, might as well. That would be something. Ball and a strike on Gwynn. Players don't think that way, but we can. You're kind of more in that player mode, though. Rock's the one who settles the rest of us down. Don't get out ahead of yourselves, boys.
And just continue to grind it out, just like the players on the field. They're not getting all excited. They're having fun, but they're not thinking too far ahead. 7-game leads can evaporate quickly.
Think about all those sports cliches. Take one day at a time. Keep it on an even keel. They all came from baseball.
Right.
A long season of baseball. One and two the count on Gwynn.
One thing I do know, though, it's much nicer being on top, looking down at the division, having a nice 7-game lead as you proceed into the latter part of August. And that's not a position that the Brewer organization is used to. Always the chasers. But one thing's for sure, they have the players out on the field that have some experience. They've had some guys that have played in the postseason. They've been in pennant races, and that's certainly going to help as we get into late August and September.
There's a swing and a miss, and how about Marco Estrada? 5 strong. Will he get a 6th inning? We'll see. Brewers trailing 1-0. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without that praying mantis and the Milwaukee Brewers. Little nature rock Little nature at Miller Park.
You're not supposed to disturb those, are you?
No.
Leave them alone.
Is that 7 years of bad luck?
Something like that.
So Lucroy pops up for the first out. Clayton Kershaw perhaps at the head of the pack when you look at the body of work for Kershaw. The 14 wins, leading the league in strikeouts. Roy Halladay, Cole Hamels, Cliff Lee, the 3 frontline starters for the Philadelphia Phillies. Johnny Cueto leads the league in ERA. Doesn't have the wins or the strikeouts, but the 1.89 earned run average.
You see what they all have in common? Very rarely walk anybody. Now, you might give up some hits, but if you limit the base on balls, you're going to have some success. None of the guys on that list walk too many.
Josh Wilson with 1 away. And a little tapper. That is a foul ball. Started to get a number of text messages about the sporting year in Wisconsin. And I'm glad I'm getting them because I don't want to leave out the Rose Bowl.
Right.
That was a great moment. I mean, it wasn't a great game for the Badgers, but it was still great to be there. And we've got a big golf tournament here next week, the men's amateur out at Erin Hills, which is always a prestigious event. Always afraid of leaving something out, but it's been so good here in the Midwest lately, and especially in Wisconsin.
Got a lot of critics on that phone of yours. You just shut that thing off.
All the words that are spoken every day. I know, I appreciate it.
You're slighting somebody.
Super Bowl, Rose Bowl, U.S. Amateur. Now, I certainly want to encourage you, if you're a fan of golf, it's one of the great events, the U.S. Am, and Erin Hills is certainly going to bring a national eyes to this area. Erin Hills in Erin, just past Hartford up there. Great scenics, great golf course, and now this is going to be their first real big chance in the spotlight. They have the U.S. Open in 2017 at Erin Hills, so congratulations to them. You know, you still have amateur status as a golfer, Rock. You could potentially play in the U.S. Amateur one day.
Oh, you think?
Sure. You haven't cashed a paycheck, have you?
Are there houses on that course?
No, there aren't any houses on the course, which is
well, then I might consider it.
There's plenty of fescue, though.
Okay, yeah, well, I have enough golf balls at my disposal. FSN golf balls?
Sure. It's like leaving your stamp everywhere.
Yeah.
It's one thing about playing golf with Rock. His golf bag is about 50 pounds lighter after the 18th hole.
I was out playing the other day, and I was playing my FSN ball. And a gentleman on the other fairway, we were in the high grass, as I usually am off the tee box. And he was looking for his ball. I said, "What kind of ball are you using?" He said, "It's an FSN noodle." I said, "That's my ball." He says, "No, I found it 3 holes back." So he's been hitting it.
There's a strike call.
Who
Kershaw.
does that?
1, 2, 3 inning for Kershaw. home run. And a reminder, Brewers center fielder Nigel Morgan goes by many names and has too many alter egos to count. But in the end, he's been Mr. Clutch for the Brewers. You can check out the new story on FoxSportsWisconsin.com. Find out what Niger and his teammates think about his season. There's Nigel Morgan. Been relatively quiet over this homestand. Away from the field. Marco Estrada is out after 5 innings, so he gives Ron Renicky what he asked for. Estrada leaves with 5 innings, and the Brewers in this game. 94 pitches today for Estrada.
Yep, and Cameron Lowe on for the 59th time. Good numbers lately for Cameron. I think he was getting used quite a bit. His numbers started to go down a bit, but since his starting rotation, the acquisition of K-Rod, he has been well rested and pitching well. Tossed a perfect 9th inning on Friday against the Pirates.
Cameron Lowe has served such a great role for Ron Renicky, filling in that 8th inning role. Hawkins, Saito injured, as Rock mentioned. No K-Rod on the scene yet, and Lowe did a fantastic job. He did have his lumps and 7 losses in the first half, but where would the Brewers be without Cameron Lowe in that spot? That's such a key spot to bridge to the closer.
Yeah, he was being used in a spot where he really wasn't supposed to be used in. He was more of a 6th, 7th inning guy. Saito and Hawkins hurt, and he was pressed into duty, and for the most part did a pretty good job.
I've talked to a lot of closers, and it's interesting to hear. You talk to guys like John Axford. I remember Trevor Hoffman talking about this. But that 8th inning role can be much tougher than the 9th inning role. You don't have the pressure on the offense pitching in the 8th inning as you do the 9th. The 9th inning is the last call. That's it when the closer's on the game. And in the 8th inning, you still feel like you have time to recover. It means you're a little looser at the plate. Sometimes it can be a lot more difficult. Francisco Rodriguez said that the first time we interviewed him.
Yeah, the closer is still got a very difficult job. No safety net for the closer. It's his game. Good, bad, or indifferent. And it takes a special breed to be able to do what John Axford's been able to do in his a year plus in the big leagues. And not many have done it better than Axford. But you're right about the 8th inning. Sometimes you come in the 8th inning, you have to face the heart of the order, and the closer comes in for the bottom of the order. Just sometimes it works out that way.
Justin Sellers leading off this 6th inning for the Dodgers. Sellers is 1 out of 2 today. A couple of Southern California natives matching up. Sellers from Huntington Beach. Cameron Lowe went to Granada Hills. Brewers have a lot of California connections on their club. Got Braun and Lowe, Mark Kotze, Marco Estrada. Got jammed a little bit. Braun coming in. He's got it for the out. Sellers retired. Well, if you missed it last night, we had Marcus Hennel, the bullpen catcher, mic'd up. Here's a taste.
Getting ready for us. I'm going back. Handshakes. We got to have one with Jeff. He takes care of our mound, so we kind of just incorporated a little sweeping.
That was Marcus Hennel last night taking us through the various handshakes, the individualized greetings for all of the relievers. And now that Kataris has arrived into the bullpen, he has his own as K-Rod holds court. We appreciate Marcus wearing the mic. We got some great stuff, entertaining stuff from Kuz last night, and certainly want to promote his charity event coming up next Sunday, a week from this Sunday, down in Racine at the Festival Hall. Coups for Kids. You can go to coupsforkids.com to find out more. Tickets on sale. They got a concert. Jeremy Riddle will be performing, and a lot of the Brewers players will be there.
Yeah, just about all the players show up. That's how much they think of Marcus Hanel.
Well, a strikeout for Cameron Lowe. He punches out Ethier. Big sink on that fastball from Cam Lowe.
Yeah, when he gets on top of that sinker, as tall as he is, he stands tall. He pitches with that stiff front leg, and when he gets on top, he gets some nasty sink on that fastball. Almost looks like a splitter at times.
Two outs for Matt Kemp, who has struck out twice today. One to nothing Dodgers. Brewers have out hit the Dodgers 4-3. Dodgers made one count when Rod Barajas, a 2-out solo home run in the second inning off Estrada, the only run Estrada gave up in 5 innings.
And Marco put himself in a fastball count, 3-1, and gave Barajas a pretty good pitch to hit.
Boy, that ball is diving down and in from Cameron Lowe. And at 90 miles an hour as well. Interesting, the Brewers have a big shift on for Kemp, a right-handed batter with 3 infielders on the left side of the infield. 1-2 pitch. Skips away from Lucroy.
And you don't see as many shifts for right-handed batters as you see for lefties. But that is about as radical a shift as you'll see for any right-handed batter, with Josh Wilson over towards shortstop.
Got to have a good arm at second base to put a shift on like this.
A little bit of that has to do with who's on the mound. Now Cameron Lowe throws that sinker down and in. Pretty good chance Kemp's going to pull it if it's going to be on the ground.
2-2 on the way, and a swing and a miss. Matt Kemp strikes out for the 3rd time today, as Cameron Lowe, a scoreless 6, 1-2-3 with a couple of punch outs. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness.
Hey, it's a showdown of the top 2 teams in the Central to close out the month of August and start the stretch run. The Cardinals make their final visit to Miller Park on August 30th through September 1st. Tickets are going fast, so get yours by calling 902-4000 or visit Brewers.com.
Cardinals are off today. Brewers can add to their division lead by a half a game with a win. St. Louis opens up a series at Wrigley Field against the Cubs beginning tomorrow. Corey Hart, big bouncer out to short. And Sellers makes the play for out number one. Kershaw just keeps it going here. He's been tough on Milwaukee this afternoon. Back to our AT&T trivia. The question today concerning former Brewers managers who played for the Dodgers. There have been 5 in the history of the franchise. Starting with Phil Garner, you got Jim Lefevre, Davey Lopes, who is the Dodgers first base coach now, Jerry Royster, and Ron Renicky.
And Jerry Royster was a trick part of that question because he was an interim manager when Davey Lopes was let go.
And a couple of former Dodger players. Lopes back with Los Angeles as their first base coach. He had been with the Phillies to that great playoff run, all those division championships, the 4 straight division titles.
Actually, Jim Lefevre was an interim manager as well. So not an easy question today.
Final game of the homestand. Brian Michalogic trying to send us off.
No mail in. No mail in for him.
Absolutely not. Never. Jerry Hairston Jr. to try to get something going with Braun coming up next. Hairston had a double against Kershaw in the first inning. Hit one hard in the third, but he missed a squeeze and bounced into a 5-4-3 double play. Hairston pretty well hit deep left center. That ball's got some heat on it. That ball's going to bounce off the wall. And Hairston will roll into second with his second double against Kershaw.
Kind of a funny route from Matt Kemp. He gave up a little bit too soon on that ball out to center field. Remember, the warning track here at Miller Park is a lot wider than most. Perhaps he thought he was closer to the wall than he actually was. Yeah, but Hairston gives this one a ride into center field, squares up on a fastball. Now watch Kemp as he goes back. He's going to go back. It looks like he's going to be able to make a play. Then he stops. If he keeps going, he might be able to make the catch. Yeah, but Jerry Hairston and the Brewers will take it.
That's a 1-out double for Hairston. Well, he's hit the ball hard all 3 times against Clayton Kershaw. Rick Honeycutt, the Dodger pitching coach, a quick chat with Kershaw with Braun coming up.
A similar scenario as the first inning. A 1-out double for Hairston and setting the table for Braun and Fielder.
It has to be going through the minds of the Dodgers right now. They have their ace on the mound, pitching like an ace against the Brewers spot starter. But Estrada gets through 5 and only 1 run. Kept his club in the game, and now the Brewers a chance to strike back. Braun is up, Fielder next. Runner at second with 1 gone in the Brewers 6th inning. Braun to right. Pretty well hit. Back is Ethier on the track. He's got it. Hairston will tag. And he'll end up at third base.
That's a Ethier playing very deep out there in right field. Didn't have far to go. Made that catch easy. Just as he got to the warning track. And Brony gave it a pretty good ride to right.
Prince Fielder with a runner at third. For 3 weeks, the Brewers have come up with a big hit when they've needed it. Fielder could use a big hit right here. The Brewers down a run. Prince in the air to left. And Gwynn is there. He'll make the catch. Kershaw looking like an ace. Again retires Braun and Fielder with a runner at second.
One-run game at Miller Park, and that one run came off the bat of Rod Barajas, who banged out his 11th home run of the season. Marco Estrada, another solid start through 5 innings, and Clayton Kershaw through 6 innings so far, 5 hits, no runs, and 5 strikeouts as we begin the top of the 7th inning with Cameron Lowe working his 2nd inning, B.A.
All right, thanks a lot, Telly. Kershaw has been impressive, and when his back has been up against the wall, he has gotten out of it, and he has retired the dynamic duo on 2 occasions with a runner at second. He got Braun and Fielder in the 1st, gets him in the 6th. 6 shutout innings for Clayton Kershaw. Cameron Lowe back out there for a 2nd inning of work. He faces Juan Rivera to start it. 1-0 Dodgers. Lowe, a quick 6th inning, 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. Struck out Ethier and Kemp in that 6th inning. Juan Rivera doubled his last time up. Got to tip your hat to Marco Estrada. He pitched out of a couple of jams himself. 2 double plays for the Brewers in this game.
Did a nice job for the most part getting ahead in the count, which is something that he particularly has to do because he's not going to blow anybody away with his velocity.
Rivera, shallow right. Corey Hart, long way to go. He'll run it down for the out. 1 gone in the inning. Our Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers will jump on the plane after this game, head to New York. And a date with the Mets tomorrow. We'll be on Fox Sports Wisconsin tomorrow and Sunday. Fox has the game Saturday. Matt Vasgersian and Tim McCarver will have the call for that game Saturday. Miller Lite, what's on tap? 3-game series with the Mets. And then the Brewers go to Pittsburgh to play 4 games in 3 days. Don't forget that doubleheader is Monday. The Brewers have to make up a game they lost in April this year.
Kind of a late start, 5 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock Central. That's kind of late for to start a doubleheader.
Zach Greinke at this point will pitch the first game of that doubleheader. And in discussions with Ron Renicky before the game, they don't know who's going to pitch game 2 just yet. It could be Chris Narveson, who's trying to come back from a thumb injury. He sliced his thumb with a pair of scissors trying to fix his glove. It required 8 stitches. And he's healing well, but they don't know if he'll be able to make it back for that start. So you have options in the bullpen to go to. Marco Estrada will not start that game. But you could have a trip to the minor leagues to fill that spot.
Yeah, for Marco, that would only be 3 days rest. Can't do that.
Frankie De La Cruz is an option as well. He's been starting in the minor leagues. As Fielder takes care of Aaron Miles for out number 2.
Hey, this summer the Brewers will host Brewers All Access for Women, presented by Associated Bank, on Saturday, August 27th at Miller Park. Ladies of all ages are invited to experience an enjoyable day-long event, giving them an exclusive look at Miller Park and Brewers baseball operations. You can register online at brewers.com/access or by calling 414-902-4424. I will be part of that. I will be emceeing the Q&A portion of that here at the ballpark.
You're very good at that.
Ron Renicky will be there.
Too bad there won't be an auction involved, because you're very good at that. You have a way. You get right to people's wallets.
Look them in the eye and say, you want this. You know you want it.
Quite the salesman, the auctioneer. That one's hit hard. Barajas again, and that's over the head of Braun. That's going to bounce off the wall. Barajas on his way to second. It was his home run, the only tally of the game. Now he doubles with 2 outs.
Well, he's the guy today that Don Mattingly has been looking for the entire series. Somebody to get something done at the plate. And Barajas with the home run, now a double with 2 outs. It's going to be tough to score him on a single. He doesn't run all that well. Doing a nice job pulling the hands in on that sinker. Might have been up a bit, but it was in off the plate. Good piece of hitting by the Dodgers catcher.
So a runner at second with 2 gone. Jamie Carroll, the batter. It's a big run to leave stranded for Cameron Lowe. Surprised that Carroll remained a Dodger. There were a lot of teams interested in Jamie Carroll at the trade deadline. Versatile player. A good hitter. But no trade for Carroll. He remains a Dodger. He's 0 for 2 today, getting the start at second base.
He's somewhat like the Jerry Hairston Jr. type player, although Carroll not as good in the outfield, if at all. And Brewers very happy with the way their roster shakes out right now, particularly when rosters expand and you get Ricky back, you get Gomez back. Certainly going to shore up the defense a bit.
Well, there are 3 roster spots that are going to be claimed here in the next 2 to 3 weeks with Narveson, Weeks, and Gomez. Bouncing ball up the middle, a base hit. Barajas does not run well. Here comes Hairston. The throw to the plate up the line, and a run scores.
And not a good 0-2 pitch from Cameron Lowe. A rare mistake by a Brewer pitcher in this series. 0-2. Jamie Carroll gets a sinker up in the zone. We'll certainly have a couple of pitches at least to play with ahead in the count. That's a big run for the Dodgers. Is he just not able to get that ball down in the zone? He got his ground ball, but shot it right back through the middle. And an insurance run for LA.
They see the Brewers had Carroll played in the hole. And Hairston's throw up the line. A good throw, might have had a shot at Barajas.
The thing was, the ball wasn't hit all that hard. As you mentioned, they had Betancourt, shading the hole a little bit, just couldn't get there.
So 2-0 Los Angeles, and now it's Kershaw at the plate. He drops a bunt down, trying to bunt for a hit. Lowe will make the play, and he throws it away, and another run will score. 3-0 Dodgers. Things falling apart a little bit for the Brewers this afternoon.
And Prince Fielder just trying to get out of the way. The last thing you want to see is Prince trying to jam that glove in on the runner coming to first. And have him jam the wrist or break it. Just get out of the way. You mentioned that Kershaw handles himself pretty well at the plate. That throw not even close. And another run in. And Jamie Carroll able to get to second base on the throw to home. And will score on the E1. Well, they're giving him a hit and an error, I think. Or is it a straight error?
I think it's at this point a straight error. 5 hits on the board. And we'll see what the official scoring is as Kershaw at first base. Be an error on the pitcher Lowe. Second error for the Brewers. Top of the order, Tony Gwynn. All of this started with 2 outs. Lowe got the first 2 out quickly, then double by Barajas. Seeing eye single by Carroll. Kershaw bunts his way aboard.
Yeah, bottom 3 in the batting order. Hey, hate to see that.
Brewers will have McGee, Betancourt, and Lucroy coming up in the bottom of the 7th. Kershaw takes off. And here's Betancourt, got to hurry, and the throw is in time for the out. So the inning is over, but the Dodgers get 2 big runs, and now they lead 3-0.
of the 7th inning, their largest deficit of the homestand. They're trying for a homestand sweep. Been outstanding pitching on both sides, mainly the Brewers, and only down 3 runs at this point.
Well, they're down 3, and as you mentioned, the pitching has been outstanding on both sides. Now it boils down to all the little things, that you do in this ball game to try to execute. And, they had the 2-out home run and the 2-out double, the errors and the score runs. So, it's all those little things that kind of add up to see who can win this game.
All right, we'll keep track and have Brewers Live post-game full reaction following today's game here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Looking forward to it, Brian and Bill.
All right, thanks, Craig. Davey, looking forward to Brewers Live post-game today. Clayton Kershaw, certainly a story today. He has 6 shutout innings on the board. He's given up 5 hits. And he is right now with 83 pitches in a position to potentially finish this game. Kershaw does have 4 complete games on the year, 2 of those shutouts. We'll see if the Brewers can start to chip away. Down 3-0. Brewers have not scored more than 3 runs in the last 5 games. They scored 7 against the Pirates in the first game of this homestand. Thing is, they've not scored more than 3 runs, and yet they've won all 5 games.
And they've run into some pretty good pitching, but the Brewers pitching has been a little bit better. Kershaw pitch count at 85 as we enter the 7th.
McGee, Betancourt, and Lucroy, first 3 up in the 7th inning against Kershaw. As McGee gets under one. This will be Matt Kemp for out number 1.
Follow the Brewers with MLB.com @Bat11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and much, much more. Text @Bat to 31826 or visit Brewers.com.
We'll be closely monitoring MLB at bat the rest of the way. Time to scoreboard watch for the rest of the season if you haven't started already. Brewers with a 7-game lead over the Cardinals. Cincinnati 12.5 back. The Reds, the division winners last year. The Dodgers are in 4th place in their division. Arizona is the front runner. How about the Diamondbacks, now a 2.5-game lead over the Giants?
Giants have had a tough time staying healthy. We've got a number of guys on the shelf, including their closer.
2 gone for Kershaw here in the 7th.
And Brian Wilson not on the disabled list, but he's going to be down a few days.
Had a blown save the other day. He's been nursing a sore back. Sergio Romo, their setup man, the Giants setup man, is tightness in his pitching arm as well. Carlos Beltran continues to be out of the lineup. Giants are in Atlanta tonight. Lincecum on the mound for San Francisco. 2-time Cy Young Award winner, and despite 9 losses, he's among league leaders in earned run average as well. He's 11-9 with a 2.58. He'll match up against Mike Minor tonight. So you got the Diamondbacks and the Phillies a little later, Kennedy and Worley, and then the Giants and the Braves later tonight. Lincecum and Minor. Lucroy into right center. Ethier will run it down for the out. 3 up, 3 down. Kershaw strong at Miller Park, working on a shutout through 7.
with light winds coming in from that southerly direction. Otherwise, look out for a quick downpour or two throughout the ball game. Your first pitch temperature looking warm in the upper 70s.
Road trip starts tomorrow. And a reminder that you can click on the Fan Zone tab on the FoxSportsWisconsin.com home pages for prizes in the new Fox Sports Wisconsin Fan Zone, team merchandise, game tickets, unique fan experiences, tech toys, and more. If you're not a member, join right now. It's fast and free, and it's all at the Fan Zone tab, FoxSportsWisconsin.com. New second baseman for the Brewers, Felipe Lopez, comes in on a double switch. Josh Wilson moves over to short. Betancourt is out. And the new pitcher is Tim Dillard.
Here's a guy that's had a tough time finding innings on the mound. Now, there was a stretch where he didn't pitch for about 2.5 weeks. He tossed a scoreless 8th inning last Thursday at St. Louis. That's how long it's been for Tim Dillard.
It was the last time the Brewers lost a game last Thursday in St. Louis. 6 in a row since. That winning streak is in jeopardy here today with Kershaw pitching a great ball game and the Brewers down 3-0. Justin Sellers is 1 out of 3 today. Be interesting to see what the Dodgers do when D. Gordon returns from the disabled list. A shoulder injury. Might see Sellers end up playing a little second base. A lot of injuries this year for the Dodgers, starting with Rafael Furcal, who came back and then was traded to the Cardinals. Dillard strikes out Sellers, a sweeping breaking ball for out number 1.
Yeah, when he keeps that slider on the outer half of the plate or the outside corner to right-handers, he can be pretty effective. It's when he leaves it middle in, that's when he has some problems. A well-located slider to Sellers to get him. It's a good opportunity for some young players in the Dodgers organization to show what they can do. Guys like D. Gordon, guys like Sellers, some of these young pitchers in the bullpen.
Well, we were certainly impressed with Nathan Eovaldi last night. 21-year-old right-hander. Eovaldi took the loss, but well, he looks like a keeper. He was outstanding. He's only 21. In 6 innings last night, and really just that one mistake to Jerry Hairston that cost him an L.
And talking to folks that follow the team up here in the press box, they said Eovaldi didn't really have his good stuff last night. He pitched like it. Yeah, good fastball. He had the cutter working.
Bouncing ball. Fielder cannot make the play. Lopez is there. Ethier will beat it out. So no throw from Lopez. 2 shots in and out. Dillard was there. Lopez didn't want to risk it. It goes as a base hit. Infield hit for Andre Ethier. I think if you're the Dodgers, you're just trying to survive the season, try to regroup in the offseason. I'm interested to see how active they will be on the free agent market this offseason with so much uncertainty with their ball club. But they have some young talent, there's no question. You know, you've got Kershaw in place as an ace. That's the piece that everybody's looking for. So you already have that established. You got Eovaldi in the mix. Ruby De La Rosa will be coming back from Tommy John surgery eventually. Probably can't count on De La Rosa making an impact until 2013, but you never know. He's a great young talent.
Dodgers aren't afraid to push a guy. Look at Kershaw. He's 23 years old and is in his 4th season. Started early.
Kemp on the ground. This is Wilson under his glove. Ethier on his way to 3rd. Well, it looked like that had a chance to turn into a double play off the bat. Instead, 1st and 3rd with 1 out, and that'll be scored as a base hit.
Yeah, a couple of plays that you would think that ordinarily are going to be made. That ground ball that went off the glove of Prince Fielder. And this one here, I thought was a double play ball, but they had Wilson shaded in the hole a bit. Had a long way to go. You can't even see him in the screen, but right under the glove, just couldn't get there. And Off the bat, it looked like a double play ball. Just couldn't get there.
So Matt Kemp, who had struck out 3 times, comes up with a hit to extend his hitting streak to 8 games. It's been a pretty quiet hitting streak in this series, however. And Kemp takes off. Lucroy's throw to second, short hops. Kemp steals the base. Matt Kemp making a push at a 40-40 season, perhaps. That's his 33rd steal, to go along with 28 home runs.
Yeah, got a great jump. Dillard takes a while to get rid of it, and now you eliminate the double play, and a base hit scores 2. Yeah, pretty good speed out there on the bases.
Now the infield end for Milwaukee. Juan Rivera with 1 away and 2 on. Well, there's only been one other Dodger to accomplish a 30-30 season, 30 homers and 30 steals. That was Raul Mondesi. Did it twice. Bouncing ball, foul toward third.
Yeah, we were talking about Davey Lopes, and I made the comment that, you know, Lopes had the stolen bases but not the power, but that's not accurate, because there was one year that Lopes stole a ton of bases and had 28 home runs for the Dodgers. He's got some pop in that bat when he was a youngster. It's not easy to hit 28 home runs at Dodger Stadium, especially for a second baseman back in those days.
Well, he has certainly advanced the Dodgers running game, and specifically with Matt Kemp. By the way, Raul Mondesi has a son in pro ball now, and he's playing for the Brewers in their organization. He's in the Dominican Summer League with the Brewers, hitting .270 down there.
Does he have his arm like his dad?
I do not know the scouting report on him. He is an outfielder like his dad.
Yeah, Raul Mondesi had as good as arm you can have in the outfield.
Actually had a cannon tattooed on his arm. Just in case you wondered. In scouting terms, the grading system that scouts use, they call it an 80 arm. You know, an 80 is the maximum. That's like a Roberto Clemente arm. And Mondesi had one of those arms. Can you think of anybody in the big leagues with an 80 arm
right now?
Right now?
Well, Frank Core's supposed to have a pretty good arm. I don't know if it's 80 or not. Jay Bruce, I don't know if it's 80.
Another bouncer, that's foul. 80 is reserved for the best of all time. Trevor Hoffman's changeup,
80.
An 80 changeup. Roberto Clemente's arm, an 80. What's major league average? 50?
I don't know. I'm not a scout.
Oh, but you could be.
But I know there are guys that have strong arms but very inaccurate arms. They just don't throw as much as they used to the bases. Don't take infield.
Rivera leans out on one, and Hairston makes a catch. Here comes Ethier, and he'll score. Sacrifice fly for Juan Rivera. Got fooled by the pitch, but he's able to drive in the run. Dodgers have a 4-0 lead now. Sac fly, RBI for Juan Rivera.
Vladimir Guerrero used to have a pretty good arm. He had the arm strength, but a bit, you know, not very accurate, right? At times.
How about Ichiro? That's an 80 arm.
I haven't seen much of Ichiro. They say he's got a great throwing arm, and from what I've seen on the highlight shows, he's got a terrific arm, but we see very little of Ichiro against the Brewers.
There's D. Gordon having a chat with Rivera.
I'll tell you who had an 80 arm was Bo Jackson.
Yes.
Now that was an arm. I saw that firsthand playing against him. It doesn't get much better than Bo Jackson's arm. He played left field.
There's a base hit to right. Matt Kemp around third, and he will score. And the Dodgers are stretching out their lead. 5-0 Los Angeles as Miles with an RBI single.
And as this lead expands for the Dodgers, you wonder how long Don Mattingly is going to leave Kershaw in there. Of course, he has his shutout going right now. He's not going to take him out, you would think, as long as his pitch count stays in pretty good shape. But Tim Dillard getting a lot of pitches up in the strike zone.
Well, 3 hits in the inning. The first 2 could have been outs. They found the hole. Fielder actually got a glove on Ethier's bouncing ball. The Dodgers are getting the breaks today. And foul ball from Barajas.
I remember at County Stadium, Bo Jackson throwing a ball from left field on the warning track, flat-footed, all the way to home plate. I mean, with not a lot of air under it either.
And his time came and went too fast as an athlete on the big league stage, not just in baseball, but in football as well.
Crazy power, crazy speed, and a big-time throwing arm.
Yeah.
And don't even think about trying to block home plate on him.
He'd do to a catcher what he did to Brian Bosworth.
My goodness.
In Seattle.
Now, there are guys in baseball that like to come in hard at home plate, but they really don't know how to deliver a blow and really hurt somebody. Bo Jackson didn't have that problem.
Did you have a
no
confrontation?
No. Here's home plate. You can have it.
That was another bad throw.
You could hear him coming.
What was your most painful collision at home plate?
It was at college.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
In the white shoes?
In the white shoes and the long pants like they're wearing today.
At Clemson.
Bill Wilhelm, who passed away this winter, was ahead of his time, but I got taken out. We were playing Georgia, and Jeff Pyburn was one of the quarterbacks for the Georgia football team and got me good.
So that explains it. 5-0 Dodgers. And the story right now is Clayton Kershaw. He has been very impressive. And the couple of occasions the Brewers have had men on base, he's gotten out of it. Pochung Gaming text question. Dave wants to know, does the batter have to acknowledge a sign given by the third base coach? And I assume Dave's referencing the bot squeeze play earlier today, and typically there is a sign back that shows you that the hitter has the sign. Of course, we don't know what that is. It always changes, but that's the way it normally goes. Dave? Trent Olchin is in the game in right field, Rock. Kershaw is still in there, working on a 5-hitter through the first 7 innings. Josh Wilson leads off. He'll be followed by Felipe Lopez, and then to the top of the order.
Yeah, what happens is when the hitter gives a response, there is always that chance that the defense or the manager in the dugout might pick it up and know the squeeze is on. So back in the old days when I was playing and the squeeze would be put on, you'd either go to your helmet or you'd tap the bat, do something that let the third base coach know that the squeeze is on. If you don't give the response, then he'll tell the base runner at third he doesn't have it, so it's off. It somewhat eliminates any opportunity for things to happen like they've happened with the Brewers recently.
Yeah, twice in the last 3 games a squeeze bunt has been botched.
Yeah, last 13 outs for Clayton Kershaw, 10 fly balls and 3 strikeouts. Kershaw hasn't had a ground ball out since the double play that ended the third.
Five strikeouts now for Kershaw. He's given up just 5 hits, 2 doubles from Jerry Hairston.
I beg your pardon. Torrey Hart grounded to short in the 6th.
Well, Kershaw making a run at his 15th win. 6 strikeouts for Kershaw. He's not allowed a walk. Pitching like an ace, like a stopper. That's what they call a starting pitcher who stops losing streaks. And that's what the Dodgers have in Clayton Kershaw.
And he's gotten a series worth of runs in this game.
Heck, the way the Dodgers are swinging the bats, he's gotten a couple of series worth of runs. Dodgers scored just 2 runs in the first 3 games of the series. They were shut out Monday. There was a 2-1 Brewers win Tuesday night and a 3-1 Brewers win last night. 5 on the board today. Kershaw is at 100 pitches. As you see, Frankie De La Cruz looks like he'll have the 9th.
And Kershaw just now went over 100 pitches, and look at the ball to strike ratio. Outstanding for Kershaw, who has not walked a batter in this game.
Lopez into center, almost in his tracks. Matt Kemp makes a play for out number 2. Kershaw is a strikeout away from a 200 strikeout season, with a lot of baseball left. He's at 199 right now. Well, this guy's having some kind of year across the board, not just the wins, the ERA, but you look at all the secondary numbers. Opponent's batting average, the innings,
and most importantly, wins. Gunning for number 15. Now, Kershaw started the season 2-3.
Hart on a hop to Sellers. Long throw in time. Kershaw 3 up, 3 down. Will Mattingly give him a chance to finish? We go to the 9th. final game of a 4-game set in front of a sellout crowd at Miller Park. The 24th sellout of the year. 42,873. They're still having a good time here despite their club being shut out. Now the new pitcher is Frankie De La Cruz. He pitched against the Cardinals and had an inning against St. Louis. Makes his Miller Park debut.
Yeah, he was a starter down in the minor leagues for Don Money's Nashville Sounds. 25 games, 23 of them starts. A 7-6 record, 3.88 earned run average, and had won his last 4 starts before his call-up last Thursday.
De La Cruz is in audition for the starting nod Monday against the Pirates. Second game of that doubleheader Monday in Pittsburgh. Brewers are hopeful that Chris Narveson can return after a thumb injury. But it's 50-50 whether he'll be able to make it back. He's healing well, Narveson, but not sure if he's going to be able to return by Monday. But De La Cruz is certainly in the group on the short list of candidates to make that start. Looks like Greinke will pitch the first game of the doubleheader Monday, and then possibly De La Cruz in game 2.
Yeah, Cruz has had some time in the big leagues in each of the last 3 years before this year. With Detroit, Florida, and San Diego. Last year he spent some time in the Japanese league. So he has been around.
Jamie Carroll starting the 9th inning for the Dodgers. Kershaw's spot in the batting order is due up next. And James Loney has already grabbed a bat, so apparently Kershaw is finished. 8 shutout innings for Clayton Kershaw. There's Loney. Can't help but be impressed by Kershaw.
Yeah, no doubt. He's something special, is Clayton Kershaw, and I would imagine Don Mattingly, thought about it for a little bit, but I think thinking long term with Kershaw, thinking that he doesn't need him out there in the 9th.
Ground ball to McGee at third. Carroll retired.
You certainly hate to take a guy out when he's got a shutout going. But his pitch count a little over 100, and that's going to be it for him.
Kershaw does have 2 shutouts this year. His earned run average goes from 272 to 260 with the 8 shutout innings today, only enhancing his Cy Young Award chances. Well, with a strong finish from Kershaw, you could see it happening.
Yeah. There's some pretty good pitching performances around the National League, though. The importance of games, the pressure and the intensity on each and every start. I think that should have something to do with who wins that award. You would figure a guy like Roy Halladay, guys like that are in pressure-packed games that means something in the standings.
That was my argument with CC Sabathia last year. The counter argument to that was CC Sabathia has the Yankees offense, and Felix Hernandez, who won the Cy Young in the American League, had the great ERA and the strikeouts, pitching in a lot of tight games. So there's always that conversation about the Cy Young Award and those who vote on who deserves it more. It's hard to qualify how you get to a certain number.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, the importance of games, and for the most part, each and every one of your starts, if you're in a pennant race and your team is in contention, there's a little more at stake when you go out there. And unless that, a pitcher is head and shoulders above everybody else.
Like Greinke was in 09.
Right.
That was a no-doubter. Greinke winning a Cy Young on a losing team like Hernandez did last year with the Mariners.
And the same thing with an MVP award as well. Taking nothing away from Kershaw. He's something else.
2-2 to Loney. Slaps it foul. 95 with a fastball from De La Cruz. He's got a great arm. The knock on De La Cruz is the fact that he's a little bit erratic with his breaking stuff, his secondary pitches.
They say he's got very good finish with his fastball because he has very long arms. He's got that extra little whipping action when he gets rid of it. That's a good changeup.
Strikes out Loney. 2 up, 2 down here in the 9th inning. Well, one thing the Brewers like about De La Cruz, the fact that he's gone along through a AAA season, and he's pitched well. As you see, Francisco Rodriguez getting a little work. Did a nice job down in AAA, and he's stretched out. He has pitched deep into games. Matter of fact, prior to his call-up, he had a game he went 8 2/3.
He's got some life to that fastball at 95, and he's got a little movement, little tail to it as it gets to home plate.
Good looking change up there. Ball and a strike on Gwynn. Willie Peralta is having a good run down in AAA as well. He struck out 9 last night in a 4-0 shutout win. Peralta is now 2-0 at AAA. Has 11 combined wins that leads all minor league pitching. We saw Willie a lot this spring.
Yeah. There's some thoughts about having Willie Peralta be that 5th starter when Zach Greinke was on the disabled list.
Bouncer, fielder, off the glove, and Gwynn will reach again. Brewers very shaky defensively here today.
A couple of balls in the hole that Prince got off the end of the glove, just couldn't get there. It would have been a tough play to get Gwynn, who gets down that line pretty well. You can see the race between De La Cruz and Gwynn. If Prince keeps this ball in his glove, he might have a chance, but that would have been a tough throw.
And that'll be an infield hit. Brewers have committed 2 errors, but certainly 2 or 3 others that they've had a chance to get an out, make a play on. Justin Sellers, 2 outs in the 9th. Brewers down 5-0. Milwaukee will have Hairston, Braun, and Fielder due up in the bottom of the 9th. I'm anxious to see what the Brewers are going to do in September. And a lot of discussion about the players that will be brought up when the rosters expand in a much different scenario this year than last. You're not trying to find out about a player this season. You're looking for somebody that can help in a pennant race.
Man, that's the only way a guy's going to get called up from the minor leagues. If Ron Renicky feels as though he can be used, maybe an extra pinch runner. Maybe get another right-handed bat off the bench if there is one down in the minor leagues right now. Matt Gamel's having a nice season. You figure you're going to see him. But you don't want to disrupt the clubhouse chemistry and what's going on down there by bringing up guys just to bring them up.
Well, the other school of thought, how many guys do you bring up, your young prospects who are close, that you want to have in the big leagues to experience a pennant chase, a possible postseason? Give them a taste of what that's like. There's a shot right to short. Wilson is there, and the inning is over. Scoreless inning for Frankie De La Cruz. Last call for the Brewers, down 5-0. Back at Miller Park on a gorgeous Thursday for baseball. The Brewers unfortunately trailing 5-0 in front of the sellout crowd. 3 outs to work with. Javi Guerra, who's been closing games for the Dodgers as of late, on to pitch the 9th, and not a safe situation, but certainly in need of some work. We have not seen him in this series.
Now he's allowed just 1 run over his last 16 2/3 innings. That spans 17 appearances. That's at Dodger Stadium. He's 10 for 10 in those save opportunities. And Jonathan Broxton has had an injury-riddled season, and Dodgers looking for somebody to step up, and Guerra has certainly been able to do it. Only 25 years old.
Well, Jerry Hairston Jr. will lead off at the plate, presented by Wendy's. 2 doubles against Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw goes 8 innings, 5 hits, no runs, no walks, and he strikes out 6. And he is at 199 strikeouts for the season. That leads the National League. And he is in line for win number 15 of the year. Cardinals off today. Brewers in danger of dropping a half game. St. Louis will start a series with the Cubs at Wrigley Field tomorrow. Brewers headed to New York, a series with the Mets. Ball and 2 strikes on Jerry Hairston. Dodgers are in the middle of a long road trip. They've got a bunch of long road trips coming up. Well, they have a rough schedule coming in. They got 3 against Colorado and Denver starting tomorrow. Then they go to St. Louis. Kershaw will be pitching in that St. Louis series next week. 3-game set in St. Louis. Dodgers have a road trip coming up where they'll go to Pittsburgh for 1 game, a makeup game from mid-May. They'll go to Pittsburgh and then to Atlanta, to Washington, and then right next door to San Francisco. Man.
And it all starts from L.A.
What a road trip.
L.A. to Pittsburgh for 1 day.
Hairston strikes out for out number 1. And here comes Ryan Braun, sitting on 23 home runs this year. Ryan Braun in the Powerball home run count. His home runs equal his stolen bases. He's had a good homestand. Quiet today, but Braun 10 hits on the homestand and 2 homers. Had some big hits on this homestand. None bigger than the game-tying hit off Joel Hanrahan of the Pirates, setting up Nyjer Morgan's game-winning sac fly. That was Sunday. Brewers wrap up their season series with the Dodgers here today. Splitting in LA, winning the first 3 here of this set. All of these blocks of games that you look at, and Rock and I look at this all the time when you get into a stretch, and certainly a big block coming up on the road, 7 games in 6 days. Not only have the Brewers succeeded, but they have succeeded beyond belief.
The wildest expectations. It's been an incredible run.
In the last 6 homestands, Cincinnati, the Cubs, the Astros, the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Dodgers. 6 homestands. At this point, the Brewers are 17-2. Even a loss today, they go to 17-3. 17 of their last 20. The last 6 homestands as Braun rifles one into the gap right center. That's going to go to the wall. And Braun thinking about third. He's on his way. And the throw is late. That's a triple for Ryan Braun.
Oh, that guy is something else. I mean, that shows you how good Clayton Kershaw is. Able to control Braun and Fielder. I mean, he's something special, that left-hander for the Dodgers. You take him out. Look at this pitch. A slider down and away, and Brawny with that good leverage drops the head of the bat on and just whistles one into center field for a 1-out triple. You know, as good as he is, it really shows you how good Kershaw can be. And he's got the speed to back it up for a triple.
Now Fielder, and Fielder lifts one in the air, center field. Back is Kemp. Plenty deep to score Braun, and that will take the goose egg off the board. The Brewers break the shutout. They finally score. Fielder with his 90th run batted in. And it is 5-1 Los Angeles. Clayton Kershaw, our Menards player of the game today at this point. 8 shutout innings against Milwaukee.
And the Brewers are only 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. The only base hit did not score a run. That was a Corey Hart single in the 3rd inning. He only had 2 ground ball outs after the 3rd inning. It was all fly balls and strikeouts. 104 pitches to get through 8.
Well, Fielder with 90 RBIs in game number 125 of the season. Breaks the shutout with that sac fly. McGee, the last call for the Brewers today. Well, later tonight, you got the Diamondbacks and the Phillies. Reds and the Nationals a little later tonight. Giants at Atlanta. And it's the Marlins and the Padres, the other National League game. Just 5 games in the senior circuit tonight as McGee fouls it back. Good matchups tonight in the American League as well. The Rangers have jumped out to a 7-game lead in their division, the American League West. They play the Angels tonight. Colby Lewis and Jared Weaver, another Cy Young candidate. Jared Weaver, Yankees, Twins, Indians, White Sox tonight, and the Red Sox will be in Kansas City. Josh Beckett is up tonight for Boston. Blue Jays, Oakland later tonight. Out west is McGee. Keeps things going here. The Brewers not dead yet. A base hit. Casey McGee with a single to right.
Yeah, Casey almost jumping off the ground to get to that one. How about that swing from McGee? Talking about being able to handle a fastball up or some kind of a pitch up. Look at it. I mean, on his tippy toes. Check it out for Casey McGee, but able to get on top of it and line one in the right.
Just playing a little pepper.
It's not how, it's how many, right? They don't have to look pretty.
2 hits today for McGee. 2 for 4. Here's Mark Kotsay off the bench. Well, McGee takes off. There's a strike. Kotsay had a game winner. One of the 2 walk-off hits for the Brewers during this homestand. Kotsay's hit came Tuesday at a 2-1 Milwaukee victory. A Tapper foul. He didn't take much time. The first pitch he saw, bases loaded, 9th inning. And a base hit for Kotsay to bring in Fielder with the winning run.
Everybody helping out in this good stretch for the Brewers.
We had a chance to visit with Mark Kotsay, our Brewers Live pregame show today. Keeping perspective on this pennant race. It's been to the postseason. White Sox, the Red Sox. Just missed that World Championship team in Florida in '97. That was the year he was called up for the first time, and he was not on the postseason roster. If your glass is half full, you're trying to get Josh Wilson to the plate if you're a Brewer fan. At this point, he's due up 3rd. In the air, foul territory. Miles and Sellers over. And it's going to be Sellers who makes the catch, and the ball game is over. Guerra finishes it off. Clayton Kershaw now 15-5 and an ERA of 2.60. He was fantastic today. Dodgers win. The Brewers go 6-1 on the homestand. And a 6.5 game lead as they hit the road. Much more still to come. Craig Kershaw, what do you have coming up on Brewers Live?
Well, break down this guy's game. He was good against the Brewers today, no doubt about that. So the Brewers a 6-1 homestand. Plenty of positive things to talk about. We'll turn the clock back a few days as well. Looking to hit